In the hallowed annals of horse racing history, there exists a secret tradition that has captured the hearts of millions. A legacy that weaves through time like a tapestry of valor and triumph. The Kentucky Derby, an emblem of greatness, an ode to the equine spirit, and a symbol of unyielding passion. For over a century, the thundering hooves have echoed across the venerable grounds of Churchill Downs as champions emerge to etch their names in the immortal pages of horse racing folklore. From the unforgettable Sir Barton to the legendary Secretariat, each stride has been a symphony of grace and courage. And within this historic realm of flesh and blood, bonds between horse and rider are forged, lasting through the ages. But as the world evolves, so too does the spirit of competition. Today, as we venture into the virtual domain, we pay homage to the pioneers of a new legacy. A legacy that fuses tradition with innovation. And the pursuit of greatness extends beyond the confines of reality. Welcome to this season's virtual Kentucky Derby, where the frontier of horse racing meets the boundless realm of Web3. Here, in this digital arena, horses of pure code and dreams, crafted by visionaries, gallop, fueled by the passion of their creators and riders alike. Within this matrix of pixels, hearts pound with anticipation as the virtual thunder ignites the souls of virtual fans worldwide. The legacy of the Kentucky Derby is not only preserved, but elevated to new heights, where innovation and tradition intertwine in perfect harmony. As we celebrate the past and embrace the future, remember that the essence of horse racing lies not solely in the tangible, but in the intangible. The relentless spirit that transcends the realm of flesh, steel, and circuits. It's the desire to triumph, the will to conquer, and the dream of making history. So, let us unite in admiration for these majestic athletes, both real and virtual, as we ride the currents of time and create new legacies that will echo through generations to come.
Alrighty. You guys thought you were done this week with me? Oh, guess again.
No,
I'm
sir.
back, baby. I'm back, and we're bringing Fib with me. Boss Man's not here today. What up, Fib? Boss Man's not here today, so filling in. We're gonna do our best here to keep up the professionalism. It's Derby Day, Fib. Virtual Kentucky Derby Day, live from virtual Churchill Downs. How are you, bud?
Ah, man. Excellent. Things are very different from last night where it was Artemis Cup. It wasn't quite the same event. Tonight, totally different event, totally different situation. And it's just, I don't know, something about the virtual Kentucky Derby is just so special, man. Like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? Like the digital horse racing elevated to the level of the top race, the top race, the most well-known race in the entirety of America. And that's the kind of the level that we're operating at. That's the level of prestige that we're bringing to the track today. And I'm just really excited to see what players have brought to the table here, because this entire week I feel like we've been seeing excellent racing all the way down to the Artemis Cup last night, which was absolutely insane, that win by GVG. And I'm just excited. I feel like it's been a really kind of like a triumphant week. A lot of great racing, and it's time to bring it home. So here we are.
Yeah, buddy. Couldn't think of anybody better to do it with. Shout out to everybody over on the YouTube chat. And for anybody new tuning in, before we dive into the first race, which is the Bourbon County Stakes coming up in 6.5 minutes, here's a little video showing you guys what PFL's all about, in case you're new.
Welcome to the thrilling world of Photo Finish Live, the revolutionary virtual horse racing ecosystem that brings the excitement of real horse racing straight to your fingertips. Brought to life by Third Time Entertainment, Photo Finish Live offers a unique and immersive experience like no other. Picture this: you're not just a spectator, you're a real-life owner and breeder of horses in this captivating virtual world. Engage in heart-pounding races against other players, where real money is on the line. The stakes are high, and the rewards are yours for the taking. There's a host of innovations that set Photo Finish apart from the competition, such as the most advanced genetic breeding algorithm in the world and the ability to own racetracks and share their monetary rewards. In Photo Finish, you will create generations and generations of unique offspring, each carrying the legacy of its ancestors. The true-to-life genetics system offers endless possibilities for breeding, and your decisions will determine the future champions of the track. All the while owning a proportional share in a racetrack via Crown, our cryptocurrency, allows you to share the game's success. Step into a world where 4 weeks in real life correspond to one in-game year. Witness the passage of time as each new season brings fresh opportunities and challenges. Thousands of races await you in every season, from entry-level maiden races to the highest-stakes premier graded events. Horses of every level and price point have a chance to hit the podium and breed up over time. With its commitment to realism, Photo Finish Live brings the thrill of horse racing to life. As the seasons pass, horses retire to breed and eventually die, mirroring real-world horse racing to ensure long-term sustainability. Embrace renewed opportunities to showcase your skills and strategies, ensuring the excitement never ends. Are you ready to start your legacy in the world of Photo Finish Live? The tracks await, the competition beckons, and fame and fortune favor the bold. Become a part of this one-of-a-kind virtual horse racing ecosystem and let your dreams run wild. Join us today and embark on an unforgettable journey. The Sport of Kings awaits your presence in Photo Finish Live.
And there you have it. Again, for those of you new, just joining in, that's a little intro to PFL. But it is virtual Kentucky Derby Day. Fib, we got the Bourbon County Stakes. I think I said the Bourbon Country Stakes before. My apologies to the country of Bourbon. Yeah, Bourbon County Stakes, 3 minutes. Pick pools are closed. Again, 10 minutes before the race runs, the pick windows will close. So make sure you get your picks in ahead of time. Don't wait for us. But post-time favorite, Fib, looked like it was Thorn of Margarita.
Thorn of Margarita.
From D Stables.
Out of D Stables, yeah. Do you know anything about Thorn of Margarita? Because Rose of Margarita, the dam. Didn't you have some sort of relation to that horse, or is that not true? In your own barn. Margarita.
I have Rose of Zion.
Okay.
Yeah, Rose of Zion, but you know, okay. Let's rein it back in here. Only 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Sire's bullish. Thorn of Margarita, great record. These undercard races, 90 max fleet, stakes races here. I actually see like a decent amount. I see a decent amount of horses that are bumping up against sort of the I want to say like the mid range here, like in the 80s, low 80s, high 70s. That seems to be who entered this race. I imagine a lot of the really top performers, since this is a 10 furlong left dirt race, probably are attacking the Kentucky Derby itself, I would imagine. And so the effect is that you do have sort of like a secondary tier of performers here. And I do see some, these are still, these ones are not limited to 3-year-olds. So I see some former competitors that I believe that we're familiar with, such as Blue Elvis out of Breaking Bad stables. I see some Driney Park entries here. GVG, of course, we can just expect to see GVG in the majors, can't we? And then Callio
of course,
at Yellowstone. I feel like we've seen a lot of Callio recently as well. He's been competing in a lot of streamed events. So this one does look kind of even to me, and you can sort of see how that's reflected in the odds. There's a lot of these horses came in kind of near 10-1, whereas like maybe they started out closer to like 15-1, like right when the pools were juiced. And so to me it looks like there's a lot of spread on this one. Spit and Fire, which is kind of cool. Spit and Fire, the second most action is Spit and Fire. That's the 5. and they're just sub 10. Galantis Nags is the stable owner, and this horse does look fantastic in this race. It's a 5-year-old and it's an S minus, so two things that I would kind of be like, maybe not. You know what I mean? But its record is immaculate. Its speed incredibly powerful, and its record on the slop in like a really sloppy conditioned race course, very very strong as well. Almost a closing in on like a 50% win rate. Both at 10 furlongs and on the slop. So that's a really strong pick. Getting that one for 10, 10 to 1. Are you mad about that? Are you mad, would you be mad about that? I'm not.
No, but like you said, I mean, this might be a little bit of a spillover from some Derby entrants with a 90 max on the fleet. So, very well, might be looking at an S plus or an S. I mean, an S minus might be a tough shot to bring these home nowadays, But
S minus might be a tough shot, but on paper it looks like it performs. Like, where's it running now, though, is the real question. And where it's running now, the average is still pretty good. Still pretty good. I mean, if we compare it to the odds on favorite, the 9, I think we only have a few seconds left, by the way, like 10 seconds, but it's running it's run at least in its time, in its heyday, a higher average rather, and a higher max at the distance. So I think it's going to be an interesting race. We're going to take it down to the track. First undercard of the night. Mo is going to he's going to teleport into the box and call the race for us. Let's kick it off. Virtual Kentucky Derby Day. Let's go.
Whew, all right, we are down here. I am out of breath. That was a little bit of a hike, but here we go. It's time for the opener, the Bourbon County Stakes. And they're off and running here quickly out of the gate. There goes Sky Presley along with Spittin' Fire. Slim Archie moves along here in third. Fan favorite, a lot of chatter going on here in the YouTube chat about Slim Archie before the race. Let's see how he holds up here at 18 to 1. Then comes Silvertongue Queen moving along in front of Super Screw and DGen Only for SGPN Stables, cruising along here as they head past the clubhouse and to the wire for the first time. Everybody wave to your current leader. It's Spittin' Fire. Spittin' Fire here at 9.4 to 1. Shows the way. Short length over Silvertongue Queen, who's tucked in nicely down at the rail. Slim Archie moves still in third with Super Screw moves along in fourth with DGen's Only now passing. And Shorebreaker now in the sixth spot. Here trying to catch the leader, half miles coming on in 50 and change as Silvertongue Queen, after sneaking by down at the rail, holding strong on that lead. Back for second, breaking between horses is Bad Bow and Shorebreaker there, actually poking the nose up into second to steal it. Spittin' Fire back into third, minus 110. Not going to get me with that one again. Moves up into the position with Super Screw now off the board, and here comes Sky Presley. But Bad Bow even, as 19 to 1, has some interest here. Three quarters is coming on in 116, and they're making their way into the turn. And I just realized I probably don't have to wear the mask. Spittin' Fire now here shows the way. That lead now 3.5. Sky Presley treks along here trying to gain some room on the leader. Slim Archie, no change here. Third all race, but now when things matter, who will dig in? Here goes Rita. Rita Mace answers the call. Rita at 15 to 1 is going to split them real quick and push forward by 4. Sky Presley back, the wrong direction. Deuces Wild got some interest. Thorn of Margarita, no interest here as Rita is going to scoot along past the 8 pole and now has to hold off one more final surge from Deuces Wild and DGen's Only, but Rita making it look easy here in the opener with a perfectly timed ride at 15 to 1, blowing up the boards for Soulmate Stables over Deuces Wild and DGen's Only. Whew.
Man, Spittin' Fire showed so strong in that race, but just didn't have the juice to stick it out, I guess, on that last stretch, man. And it looked so dominant for an S minus, just running out there against horses that were 1-2 subgrades ahead of it. But then, yeah, Rita with that split at the end takes it. Great race, man. And then the double, the SPGN Stables, by the way, I feel like I haven't seen them hit these big podiums. Congratulations to them doubling up. And that's like kind of the first time I've seen them up there, and they hit it twice. So how about that? Quite a way to debut yourself, I would say.
Right. How about that?
How about that?
Beautiful race for the opener. 5-year-old mare, apparently, according to the YouTube chat. Love to see it. Shout out to everybody again. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a bunch of action here on the card. Fib coming up. We got the Bluegrass Commemorative in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a 70 max sweep figure benchmark restricted. And apparently I'm being
told that production still has their voice on. It's been a whole month, chat, and we still have yet to hire a competent production team. But we'll get there one day, I promise you. In the meantime, Bluegrass commemorative fib. Who's going to be, chat? Who do we like?
Yeah, chat. Let us know who you like. We always love to hear from you guys. I see the interesting thing about this race. 2 S's have made it into this race. So the 18 here, Blue Queso out of Breaking Bad Stables, pretty low preference horse, by the way, but is an S. So we have to give that one a look first. Obviously, it's a 5-year-old. It's an S, but still, people believe in this horse to run the fastest race out of all the rest of them. The horse did break sloppy. This is another sloppy race. And it looks like average at this distance about 70. I mean, let's see if we can find anybody else that can average around there. Now, keeping in mind this horse is 5, so I mean it ran 70, 74 recently. Not at no, actually 12. It ran a 74 not so long ago. So I mean that's actually kind of a good. That's good. 7 basically 7.5 to 1. I feel like that's a good data point that would make me feel comfortable taking Blue Queso at least as my chalk pick. But I'm always looking for other opportunities. Always looking for those high multiples on my picks. That's just how I am. Are you like that? I mean, how about the 13? Look at that 13. How about a strong S minus? It's not totally on preference, but it's another SPGN Stables horse. I mean, are they going to do it twice?
I mean, twice would be nice. I mean, you could even take a gander right above it. You might see a horse named Kia. Maybe a little bit out of development here. Stepping up to a 70 fleet. I think he's career high. Career high is a 68, which actually was made it in. Made it in nice and easy. Made it in.
Yeah, with the 28-day earnings. That 28-day earnings selection committee style. You get these successful horses taking a shot at that free money. All of these races are basically free roll races, which means that you don't have to pay to enter these. You basically have to you have to either qualify for these or qualify by earning a lot of derby. Is kind of how that works. So it's gonna be horses that are fairly successful, making their way up here, and then of course they are limited on the top end by the fleet figure. But yeah, I mean Kia, I do like looking at a horse that can run an average in the 70s and Kia who's running average at 60. Not necessarily I don't have the highest hopes for that, but Kia is just Kia is a fantastic horse. Recently, by the way, featured in the Solonaut Magnum Opus.
Well, no need to roast the horse about running in the 60s, but maybe turn your attention to someone like the 5. Dutch Oven. Shout out to Beetlejuice Stables.
Huge shout out to Beetlejuice. Love you, man.
Dutch Oven. I've watched this horse actually run for a couple seasons now. I run against him quite often, or her, and this is also a good horse.
Good.
On the stats on paper in comparison, I don't know. That's up for you to decide, chat. But that's just someone that I always like to watch.
You know what I'm noticing? Looking at these fields, it's like so many of these horses that made it. If you guys aren't aware, anybody that's tuning in, and I imagine most of you are, but we debuted these grade restricted series into the game, and you see a lot of these horses seem to have made their 28-day earnings selection committee case for this race in these races. So it's like Dutch Oven, while it does have nice times, and that's why I'm looking at the fleets and not the record so much, but although Dutch Oven does have a nice record, I want to see how fast these horses can run. You could look at times too if you want to get into the nitty gritty. I'm just looking at fleets. That's sort of our Photo Finish Live's normalized version of race performance times, sort of like a horsepower thing. And Dutch Oven does look good. Now the 6 is kind of an interesting case to me, and I bet 15 to 1, 16 to 1 on Dutch Oven though. With a record like that, with speed like that, I feel like that was a great pick. I could totally see an A+ being able to take this race. The 6 also looks strong to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of an unexpected podium here. But we're gonna have to take it down to the track. 5 seconds left until undercard number 2 is done. By the way, you can still make picks on the Red River Run and the Twin Spires Sprint, Twin Spires Gallop, and the virtual Kentucky Derby itself. So get those picks in. So much juice, and you must mop it up. You simply must. So take it down to the track. Mo once again in the box, and let's race.
Yes, we actually might have been muted there. My apologies through the race. Technical difficulty is Dutch Oven. You missed the most amazing race call of all time. It's Dutch Oven here at Small Stunner, tucked in neck and neck. It's not too often that I co-host and call the races, so my hotkeys are a little out of whack. My apologies. We'll get it right for the Derby show. In the meantime, Dutch Oven, that lead now 2.5 over Small Stunner. Complete Silence trying to make some noise here, moving up into third and cruising on the outside at 17:01. Attacks Dutch Oven and goes right on by. Here we go. Complete Silence, that leads 7 over Dutch Oven, who takes a little bit of a breather but now starts to battle back already. Bahuburi Sky, new name here on the board. Up in the third, Blue Queso fourth. Lucky Count also getting their groove on here out there in the orange silks. Well, yellow silks is Get Your Groove On, the name of a horse. That's a weird one, but it's going to be Get Your Groove On in fifth now as Blue Queso had found some trouble there. Into the far turn now. Here we go. 1 mile in the books and 144, and it's all Dutch Oven. Dutch Oven trying to bring it home here. Announcer pick on the board. Dutch Oven, that lead 4, but he's got some work to go as Blue Queso now in full throttle. Blue Queso round the bend, make your Dota cry. Also there with him on the inside hip, but Dutch Oven continues to pour it on, shaking him up, and now we head for home. Dutch Oven down low, Get Your Groove On. Grove On off the rail, looking for tail. Now pulls up alongside the leader. Awkward eye contact on Dutch Oven, but Dutch Oven is going to repel the leader once again and repel the challenge of Get Your Grove On as Dutch Oven is going to bring this one home. Say it once, say it twice, say it 3 times. It's Beetlejuice. It's going to be Dutch Oven for Beetlejuice Stables over Get Your Grove On and Complete Silence. Ooh-wee.
Beautiful.
Wow.
I love watching. I love that call. I love the Beetlejuice call out. That was a great race. Dutch Oven indeed performing. You highlighted. Got to give Mo credit there. He centered in on that horse, looking through the field, and indeed it performed big time. Love to see it. A+. That 70 max fleet figure limitation opening up the field for horses that may be a lower grade, but might just be the horse for the day. Took it home, battled back on that last stretch, even though it got challenged. And then, of course, in third place by serendipitous, just by pure synchronicity, we have Complete Silence, a callback to the beginning of the race in which we experienced complete silence. But we're going to jump in to the Mint Julep Memorial and check it out. This is back to 90 max. But this time, instead of a 12 furlong race, which I believe that one was a real long one, this one's going to be 5 furlongs. A blazing fast sprint, and we're gonna have to check it out. So let's see what we see.
Yeah, it was a great race, but Dutch Oven. But yes, now we're going up Mint Julep. 5 furlongs, left dirt. We got an empty box here. I'm still making my way up. Thankfully, we got these remote microphones. It's a long trek, guys. We got a lot of action.
Long
people
one.
really,
Long one.
People really turning out for the virtual derbies. And again, we love to see it. But unfortunately, it means a little bit longer of a walk and more traffic for me, getting from point A to point B. So coming up here, looks like the post time favorite close out as Muttley at a stable income.
Who looks absolutely terrifying, by the way. Really, really powerful horse. Makes me wonder why this horse isn't competing in the Twin Spire Sprint. We're gonna have to see when we get to that field. But Muttley, 50 straight, not 8 wins out of 19 starts. So winning most of the. I'm not gonna say most of the time. Not technically most of the time, but for horse winnings, 42% win. That's a lot of winning. And this horse also has a really, really fearsome 87 max fleet, 3 years old, coming in its prime again. Like, I feel like this was possibly a strategic decision by Stable Income. They do have quite a few horses racing, and maybe they didn't want to race themselves. Maybe they're trying to maximize ROI. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the sprint. But yeah, Muttley looks fearsome. Already looks like the horse to beat, but I do see some strong competitors in the field. Even just scrolling down one to Rice out of Soulmate Stables, we've definitely been seeing Rice race recently. As recently
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, right. We've seen Rice race recently.
Rice rate recently.
In the Lucky Dash, the S and the S Plus finals, the S and S Plus series finals. This horse raced and actually won the 6 furlong Lucky Dash S Max Series final. So this is a really, really scary horse. Even though it's an S, make no mistake, this horse shows up in a big field, and we've seen it before. And is it going to show up again? I don't know. And the thing is that it came in at 17-1. 17-1 this horse came in. I can't stress it enough. Go make your picks. If you see a horse like Rice coming in 17-1, and granted, I've only looked at a few horses in this field, so I could just be foolish by harping on this. However, I'm very confident there's really strong opportunities to make picks on. Of course, use your own bankroll as your guide, NFA, etc. But if this horse coming in 17-1 is any indication, I would imagine that there's plenty of opportunities looking forward. Anyhow, any of these horses stick out to you, Mo? We got
So
about a
I
minute.
was clearing my throat naturally. I actually was not trying to get your attention. Sorry.
Oh no,
Even when I mute
the
on.
18 looks strong too. Did you see the 18?
Yeah, I was actually taking a gander at the 18. It's an S minus, hoof by hoof. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we just saw a 17-1 or a 16-1 win it. So.
Yeah, so many opportunities. I see Hunt Club just dropped in the chat. Hunt Club, one of our favorite digital horse racing sharps, coming in, giving his patronage, and we appreciate it, sir. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in. We have about 30 seconds until this race fires off. I mean, actually, this looks like a pretty competitive field. The one Dopey out of Dragon Stables doesn't look bad either. 15-1, 10 wins, really strong max. It is 5, but we've seen 5-year-olds take these. We've seen 5-year-olds take these for sure. So that doesn't count this horse out to me. It looks like the 2, also Zizou out of Yellowstone, got a little bit of love. Yellowstone, really strong stable, really solid competitor these days. But really surprisingly stacked field. It is a 90 max fleet, but it's not the it's not the Twin Spire Sprint. So we're gonna see how this one plays out. The Mint Julep Memorial undercard number 3. Mono's in the box, and it's time to race.
All right, here we go. Back at the track and updated hotkeys. Trying to avoid any more technical difficulties here on the microphones. All lined up and ready to race here in the Mint Julep Memorial, and they're off. Zion always quickly out. Dystopian trots along here in second. Amiga back on the outside with Juicy Girl down between horses in front of Morning Fog, Infit, and Gall out there in the gray silks at 17-1. Going to round out the leaderboard as this field heads into the opening turn of this 5-furlong left-turning affair on the dirt. Blinking it's over, chat, yielding track for a ton of derby, and it's Juicy Girl who wants a piece of the action. Right now leading over Dystopian by 2.5, and Dystopian is going back, but now making a comeback back as they shake him up and head for home. Juicy Girl tries to hold on, but Dystopian says, don't you forget about me, and Dystopian now pokes a nose in front. Good Monk on the extreme outside, Summit also with some late involvement, but Dystopian plays with their food here and gets away easy, as Dystopian's going to bring it home with ease at 14-1 for Astro Farms over Zizou and Good Monk.
Man, we didn't even touch on that one. The
13.
13.
I mean, you can't touch on them all,
Can't touch on them all.
You can't pick them all, I'd love to.
You can. Well, you can pick them all. Whether that's going to work out for you or not, I mean, we kind of do that. Does that work out for us? Very rarely. Very rarely does that work out for us. But Dystopian out of Astro Farms, congratulations, by the way, taking this juicy free roll purse on top of obviously being a successful horse in its own right, with a 50% lifetime podium percentage and a very respectable fleet figure rating. Dystopian having lost twice to Muttley in the last 2 races that it's entered, but you know what? It was like, tonight is my night. I'm going to take it over Muttley, and I didn't even see Muttley finish in the top. It finished 7th, outside the money, and that horse is so fantastic. And I'm sure that it's going to go on to continue winning money if it's not retired. But the play didn't exactly work on entering Muttley in this one. But yeah, congratulations to Zizou too. We barely touched on that horse right before the race broke. But yeah, Yellowstone, can't fade Yellowstone. Just a stable of powerful bloodlines contained therein. And of course, congratulations to Gauchos getting 3rd. Shout outs to our boy. And anyway, so it's time for the Red River Run. Red River Run, back to the 70 max, back to seeing some green horses here. And it's not totally S's. We got A's in the mix, and A+ won the last one. What do you see in this 70? I feel like, Mo, you are experienced in seeing some of the racing against some of these really strong A grade horses. of which there are plenty of opportunities for in the game nowadays. If you have a really strong A plus, or even A minus horse, you have a lot of places to race now. A lot of you have a lot of derby to attack relative to the grade. And so I imagine those are the horses that are going to be running in this one, just like they were in the last one. The difference between this one and the last one is this one's 4 furlongs, a dead sprint. The weather ended up fast today. And what do we see? What do we think here, Mo?
I mean, I appreciate the backhanded compliment, by the way. Thank you. You do know I race a lot in the green division.
Well, to good effect. So
it's a good effect. Yes, thank you. Yeah. I mean, honestly, again, it's always hard for me to fade. You see a Beetlejuice horse, but a 5-year-old stallion coming in. Do we have some younger competition that might be a little bit more on the hot foot? I don't know.
On the hot foot, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's the beauty. That's the beauty of these races, right? 70 fleet figure max. Very, very nice. And we got.
Check out the 11 juicy memes out of GVG Genetics. This horse is 6 years old, still out there on the track, hair graying. You know what I mean? Wearing the rocking the knee brace. Sort of situation. The walker getting to the line. This horse has run 44 furlong races at this distance. It's seen battles. It's seen things you couldn't believe.
Oh yeah.
And yet it is out here. I would love to root for this horse. I'd love to see it make it. It has a really beautiful 82 max, but maybe it's on its way down. But maybe it has a local, as they say in crypto, a local top waiting to form with its performance in this race. That's always possible. If you ever look at these horses, you take a deep dive into your horse. I'm sure if you're a player, you've done this. Sometimes horses can sort of come into a little bit of a performance uptick, even in an older age. It's possible. The dips, troughs, maybe it's not making the same max fleets that it once did, but it doesn't mean that it can't perform. So, possible. I'll just say possible.
Very true.
Meanwhile, odds-on favorite is the 4. That's Black Ship out of Emerald Hill Racing. And this horse, it doesn't necessarily have the record that I'd like to see, but it does have the fleets that I'd like to see. And it's 4 years old, having run an 84 max. This is a 70 max race.
That's pretty crazy.
84. Yeah, this horse has run an 84 max at this distance. So I could definitely see how a little bit of derby was thrown on that horse. That's the thing. If there's a top fleet figure, if there's a top end to the fleet figure entry to these races as a restriction, it's not necessarily that the horse has never run a 70. It's just that their average, or the way that they've come into the race, is such that they're able to get in underneath or at that 70 fleet max. So we'll see how that plays out. I could see that horse definitely making a play. It's only 4. It could definitely still be in its prime. It ran a 70 recently. I don't really see. The last time I see an 80 out of it was at 5 furlongs. This is 4. It was on a fast track though, so it could be possible. Maybe this horse just maybe it's a little stubborn,
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Actually, I'm on my way down to the box right now. I'm making my way over. Again, we have tons of celebrities here. Hulk Hogan, just saw Hulk Hogan. He said, "I'll tell you something, brother." Hogan. Ember Glow, back in Ember Glow. So I mean, shout out to the Hulkster, right? I mean, we got so many people here, chat. If you wanna, come hang out, Derby Day, get in touch, But yeah, we got a 55 seconds.
It feels like a lock. This horse we were talking about, the 4 Black Ship, feels like a lock. It does look really strong. I doubt that you're getting, but look one horse down to Tom Green out of VT Hokie. That's an S minus. It's 3. I don't know. To me, Tom Green is more of a lock than Black Ship. Personally, that's just how I feel. I don't think either of them are a lock, but Tom Green came at 15-1. That's a fib lock. 15-1 for one fleet figure max lower, 1 year younger. Mm-hmm. Both totally on preference. Actually, I think I think they're as equally as on preference as one another, with a little bit of a lower average fleet at this distance, but still really good. Definitely the thing that hurts Tom Green is that it hasn't run as good of a race on a fast track as Black Ship. Maybe that's why those odds are hurting. But 15-1 at that distance, and it is a firm horse. I mean, why not?
That's right. Why not? Here we go.
A little sprinkle. Oh, is it time to get in the box? Okay. Let's head on down and check this last undercard out. You can still make picks, I believe, on the Gallop, on the Kentucky Derby itself. Twin Spire Sprint is closed. It's time to take it down to the track. Last undercard before the majors, before the $10,000 purses start rolling. It's race time.
Right, thank you, Fib. Online for the Red River Run. And away they go, quickly out. It's Rivers, Magic Time, join him on the outside with Alessandro. Back in between horses in front of Krabby Patty Recipe. Exorbitant moving up here in the fourth, and Caring Bear gonna round out the leaderboard here at 17-1 as this field makes their way around the first and only turn of this 4 furlong sprint. Here we go now, shaking them up already and heading for home. It's Alessandro, and Caring Bear quickly takes over the lead as Alessandro goes the wrong way, but Caring Bear now has their hands full as well as Juicy Memes digs in. Juicy Memes, function one, and on the extreme outside, it's Krabby Patty Recipe, says, here we go. All it takes for some victory is one Krabby, a little bit of salt and pepper, and put it on the grill. It's going to be Krabby Patty Recipe for Bucadon Farms over Caring Bear and function one.
Hey, that's Zane. Bucadon Farms, Krabby Patty Recipe. How about that? That's the 14, man. That horse does look really good. It does look good. Not seeing totally untested on the fast. It was a soft horse. Soft horse coming through and stealing everybody's lunch money today. How about that?
How about that?
4 furlongs is a crazy. 4 furlongs is a crazy distance, man. 4 furlongs is like, you know what 4 furlongs is like? It's like you put a bunch of different fruit inside of a blender, right? And you press blend, but you only blend it for like 4 seconds, and then you take a sip. And it's like, how does that, what fruit are you getting? Because they're definitely not all blended up. You know what I mean? It's not a smooth, slurry, everything uniform, everything homogenized. It's like kind of like things are still chunky. You could end up, you take a sip. It's like, is it a strawberry? Is it a banana? Who knows? That's what a 4 furlong race is to me.
All right, for those of you at home keeping the score, please DM me and let me know what the heck Fib was just talking about. But here we go, moving on, Fib. We got the Twin Spires Sprint. Apparently, just put them in a blender. But this is a 5 furlonger.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what we have on offer today. This is the virtual Kentucky Derby. Arguably, I'm not going to say that it's more prestigious than the others, but in a way, it's kind of the most prestigious event in the game. Would you agree with that? Is that out of step for me to say? We're associating with such a glorious race, time-honored tradition, 150 plus now years of Kentucky Derby history that we're associating with our game on this Saturday, the last Saturday of the season. We give it that special spot right before the season turnover, the crescendo, the top of the crescendo, the rising action, the climax. This is it, man. And we're starting it off right now. We're in the final act, the Twin Spires Sprint. And I already, looking through these fields, man, already seeing these 90s. This is why these horses didn't make it into the other ones. I mean, just not, absolutely fearsome. The competition at this level is basically as high as it can get. So let's take a look at this
I do
field.
agree with you, by the way. I mean, the prestige, again, of the IRL racing circuit, of Churchill Downs and the Kentucky Derby. However, due to the fact that we also gamify a lot of this too, right? Having all the majors for different archetypes, because again, I mean, looking at like how this game is set up, right? Here in America, we don't run, was it left or everyone? I'm confused sometimes. We don't run right? Just maybe check a film. I'm so confused with PFL. I don't know what way. I don't know what way we run in the real world anymore. That's how bad my head is. I don't even watch real life horse racing anymore. But what I do know is that
it's kind of a condensed, distilled version in our game. It's like it's kind of like if you want that fix, you got it. So.
Yeah, but what I was getting at is that, having the different archetypes and making sure that everybody is, treated equally, at least on the pay scale. I feel like you guys did a good job of that because, again, it makes us go out and breed all different types of horses, right? Or else it would just be like, hey, everybody breeds left dirt and the rest is the rest, right? But
I'll put it this way. It's all of our major races. That's why, like you can see on Twitter, it's like I like to think about it's like these 4 peaks. You can think of these in our mountain range. There's these 4 massive mountains, and each one of them, the purses are the same. It's $10,000 in each one of these. So I can tell you all day that the Kentucky Derby, there's something special about it. But at the end of the day, you're taking home that Derby if you win, and it's the same amount no matter what. So it's like the prestige, though. There is something special about the VKD.
I'll go back.
And that is what makes this race so. That's what makes these races so exciting too, because I feel like that little bit of prestige makes it so that people are trying just that much harder to take it home. I think it's like getting that red name in Discord, saying that you won the virtual Kentucky Derby. This doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet in the world, really. It's like in digital horse racing, this is the frontier, man, and you are at leading the charge on the frontier. I mean, what more do you want, you know?
Well, I'm taking notes on this one. So we got 4 mountain peaks, and you always want to be at the top and avoid the crevices. So I'm taking notes on this one, guys. All right, you got me.
Yeah, the metaphor did get a little rich there, didn't it?
Yeah, you got me on the last one, but I'm taking notes now.
Lovely.
That's right. But you know, let's digress a little bit. 2 minutes before the Twin Spire Sprint, one of the first major G1s going on here. We got GVG as the favorite, surprising absolutely nobody.
Not surprising anyone, but you know what surprises me about this GVG favorite is that I see horses with more potential, at least in their top fleet, across the board. I see probably 4 of them, maybe even 5, that are all running faster. But Early Gamble coming in 82 max, with a high average. It does have a high, not even the highest average, not even necessarily the best record. It losses to Last Prodigal Son, Card Counter. Card Counter, who's Card Counter? That's Arch Royal Family. So that's Arch, really big Zed guy that Bryce converted to come play our game, and he's already just taking that knowledge, taking possibly his his assets and making it count in our game that fast. It's pretty impressive, and he's already on the board, already kind of looking like one of those horses that could contend for this $10,000 purse just after like a season or 2. He's already up there, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to disregard Mother Screw too. You know, you got Mother Screw from from Mikey Boy, Tombstone. Yeah, sorry, I gotta start.
Never ever fade sours, dude.
But I do see a lot of S pluses. You know what I mean? So we are moving into that stratosphere now of.
We've seen S's take these, but yeah, S plus is a well-established grade at this point. You know, it's just a stat average. At the end of the day, that's what grades are. You know, they are a stat average. So like the stats are simply, for all of the stats that a horse has, there's a certain threshold, S plus. So that's all I'm saying. It matters, but it doesn't. It kind of like it matters, and it also doesn't have to matter. That's kind of how the game works. So to keep it simple.
Words of Metallica Fib, nothing really matters.
Nothing really matters.
We got
the words
5 seconds here until we're going to dive into the Twin Spire.
Yeah, 5 seconds. 1 second. Let's jump in. First major of the night. A 5 furlong sprint, $10,000. People have worked hard to get here. Let's see how it plays out. I'm so excited.
All right, here we go. Lining them up for the first Grade 1 race of the day is the Twin Spire Sprint of the 5 furlonger. It's going to be Early Gamble quickly out of the gate. Then it's Card Counter. Doug Reborn trots along here in third in front of Sir Owen the Great. Gen Chaos out in the green silks moves in fifth. And Bobby out there in the turquoise silks at 24-1. Going to round out the board here as this field is starting to spread thin. Got to make up some moves quickly. This is a 5 furlong sprint. Blinking it's over. Opening quarter at a minus 23 and change for Early Gamble. But Early Gamble might have some problems on their hands as Sir Owen the Great and Doug Reborn now. Doug Reborn digging in at the top of the stretch and has their eyes set on Early Gamble. But Early Gamble still shows the way. Doug Reborn shifts gears, goes to the inside, pulls up alongside, awkward eye contact on Early Gamble, and Doug Reborn takes the lead. But W sneaks by down at the rail. W pokes a nose. Doug Reborn tries to battle back with Bobby, but it's going to be W here at 23-1 for Yellowstone. Wow. Can't spell wow without W over Bobby.
W with an emphatic statement. 23-1. I was trying to tell you guys, you can't fade Yellowstone, man. Yellowstone's just a scary stable. This horse, though, definitely doesn't stick out to me among the pack. However, it's 3. It could be coming into its own. Maybe it even ran the fastest race of its life just now, and takes it kind of unexpectedly. Sort of like a little bit of an upset, I would say. And who ended up on the podium there? Bobby out of Soma, and Soma, dude. Also Soma attacking left dirt, making a name for himself. I don't even. For a while, I feel like almost like a grandpa. I kept being like, "Oh well, Soma.
Back
That's a
in
new
my
one." But
day.
yeah, he's a newcomer. He's not a newcomer. Soma is here. He's made a statement. He's a staple in the left dirt. He is a virtual Kentucky Derby winner himself. So not surprising to see him up there. Golden Boot Stables also coming in to show with Thug Reborn. You got to believe that that's probably somehow tangentially related to SoCal and YSM's holdings there. But yeah, congratulations, $10,000, man. That's a huge payday for Yellowstone. I'm sure he's going to put it to get to good
That's
use, become
insane.
even more lethal. And yeah,
That's crazy.
indeed.
$10,000, man. That's
One day we hope to increase that even more. That's just where it is.
we've
That's
come
where
a
it
long
is.
way. We've come
We
a
have.
long way, man. I told you. I
Dude.
tell the story all the time. You know, my buddy who was getting into the game with me, he was like, "Hey, you know, he co-owns Watsana. Hey, what's the virtual derby pays?" I think back then it was what, like, it was like a couple grand, maybe like $2,000. And he was like, all right, yeah, kind of worth it. But now, like, now I'm saying, like, now we can keep going up, 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 man. Like, it's, like you said, who knows what it'll be next season. And I know we got some news coming for next season. So,
Oh yeah, lots of cool improvements coming next season. We've already, if you can check it out on the website. We have sort of a cursory blog, I believe. Maybe it's not even on the website yet. It's definitely in Discord so far, but definitely some exciting changes coming for season 19. But let's jump into the Twin Spires Gallop here. This is major number 2. It's the mid distance race that we have here on the left dirt day, the final day of
uh-oh.
Majors Week. And what do you see? What do you see?
I mean, I don't normally go with the public, but it's hard for me to fade Mr. Pocono. I mean, you gonna tell me a horse with 15 wins out of 25 races, you can still get 5.33 on your money? That's impressive. That's a good horse too. 3 deep.
It's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see Pocono coming through, getting that money on him.
I love me some Pocono.
Yeah, well, I feel like everybody kind of loves Pocono a little bit, unless you're racing against him, then maybe you don't love him so much.
Yeah. But I race in the A department, so
Yes, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so you haven't. So as of right now, what
that's why I
Pocono
love him.
represents to you is a breeding option, a hand extended down from the heavens, like that
Exactly.
Michelangelo painting.
But yes,
That's
we have other options. But there's other options. I mean, I see
yeah,
Peeves. I see
TFW
Peeves in
breeding with
here.
Pocono horse.
Yeah.
It's Michelangelo's God and man touching fingers with each other. Anyway,
I mean,
that's the
JPEG's in
7.
here too. I mean, there's a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah,
I mean, you got
JPEG, yeah,
Celtic
absolutely.
Monkey.
YSM, Celtic Monkey, OEB, Stoics, who just won just last week, Artemis Cup. Grape in here, Poverty Ranch, shout outs to IcePov, YSM again, Tombstone. I mean, it's just the big boys are basically in here. Also Tegrity, a little bit smaller. The Hot 27 though, the number 3 horse here, the Hot 27, definitely not nearly as well known of a stable. And honestly, looking at this horse, like it raced 8F, maybe it raced it as a juvenile, but it put in a pretty, I would say, non-competitive fleet for this race. However, it could still surprise people. I don't know. If it's been a long time, if it was having an off day, it could have been really extended. Could have put in an outlier low race, and we'll have to see. I'm always rooting for a new stable to break into the top, but I also like seeing like a well-established stable attacking and succeeding in taking these big races. So.
Well, I
Yeah,
see
and I'm sure
OEB's got some support in chat, and I'm a huge fan of OEB as well. Obviously, with the time zone difference, probably gonna wind up watching this on the bot. So, shout out to OEB. Always good to have a conversation with them. But yeah, I mean, they got this 3-year-old filly running. I mean, 2 for 15 in the win department. But hey, it only takes one roll of the dice, right, to get out there and. And we hit a lot of traffic on the way back from the box on that one, Fib. So we're back here though. We're back. Yeah, nice. Man. So how long do we have?
Something interesting about this race is that the fleet, like the way that the horses are coming into this race, it seems like it's pretty contentious, but also this race looks like such a wild card to me. Like I'm actually looking at this field, I'm having such a hard time making a prediction. Like I almost might just take 3 deep if I was making picks, just because that horse does look really good. and I might even be able to settle in my soul with 5.3 to 1 on a horse this strong, when the rest of the field looks kind of, it's like some of them are untested at this distance. Some of them are kind of like their fleets don't look that, the fleets that I'm seeing here, fleets that I saw in in the undercards would have
Yeah.
been competitive in those races. It's just this mid distance. I mean, I guess mid distance isn't as well established as the sprinters. I'm not sure. I'm not honestly, since I'm not a player, I feel like I'm not as familiar with like the bloodlines and what's going on in left dirt um, at this distance. I feel like there's like different archetypes and different sort of like established genetic. What's the word? Like sort of like like the Mount Olympus of each archetype genetically, sort of like establishes different power concentrated in different places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Well, Three Deep, I mean,
there's like a
has.
gap here.
Yeah, I mean, Three Deep has Derby winning bloodline Pelnor Fields, right? So, I mean, again, as time goes on, we'll start to see these bloodlines with Derby winning, dads or moms, in the lineage. And
Let's check out the two. Rip Van Winkle. Rip Van Winkle, this horse is like, pretty strong horse. Fully on preference, but the record at 8, not necessarily that great. Like ran a 74. Doesn't look like. I mean, I feel like it's going to have to compete with 3 Deep. Rip Van Winkle, I'm not necessarily sure if it can, although it's not that far off of the fleet average there. If you're going to use that, I keep referring to fleets. You don't have to only use fleets. I actually saw like a really in-depth article recently. Somebody that was kind of like talking about their assessment of the way that we normalize fleets. I mean, the amount of game theory that you can apply to this game as a player is pretty deep, and maybe that's why we're all here on some level. However, looking at this cursorily, looking at just like sort of like this quick data on pfldrf.com, by the way, really, really useful. We linked to it in the Twitter post about this race. I basically can't do without it at this point. And in terms of covering these horses and seeing some quick data and getting an edge and picking whatever that edge may be for you, I think that it's invaluable. So I would check that out. However, looking at the 10 here, Celtic Monkey Racing, 3-year-old filly here, fully on preference with an impressive racing record as well. I could see this horse showing up. What's going to make the difference today in a field like this erratic? I feel like it's going to be a pretty unexpected podium. So we have about 5 seconds left until we head down to the track. The second major of the day, the Kentucky Derby, coming up next. It's time to see how it is run. Let's go.
All right, race fans. Want to go for a jog? How about a gallop? It's time for the Twin Spires Gallop here. Grade 1 action coming at you. And they're off and racing here. It's Coupe de Grace quickly out with Rip Van Winkle down at the rail. Fear and Loathing out of the 15th spot. Cruises along here in 3rd. Earps Him moves in 4th in front of Archduke. And there's Glory Blue in the yellow silks at 23 to 1. Making their way around the opening turn here in this 8 furlonger. As we got a tight-knit group here up top pushing for that early lead, opening quarter, and a modest 24 and change though for Coupe de Grace at 12 to 1 here, trying to hold steady as Native Joy and Unamamu, I can't even do it. Fear and Loathing even, as you might have finally tongue-tied the announcer here, as it's Unamuno, and Earps Him now back in the 5th, Rip Van Winkle in 6th, as this might go down as one of the worst race calls in history. Half mile and 48 and change now as Coupe de Grace. Hopefully that's the horse that wins it and not the one behind it. But Coupe de Grace continues to show the way. Now has a challenger though of Rip Van Winkle. New challenger, thank God. It's Rip Van Winkle down at the rail, sneaks on by here, pokes a nose in front. Coupe de Grace back in the 2nd. Swift-Orious G, also making a roll on the outside. Earps Him can't keep up. Fear and Loathing also finding some room here, but don't look now because it's Borgata splitting them with every step of the way, but Rip Van Winkle battling back is Coupe de Grace down the center of the track. Gerizino at 20 to 1 trying to blow up the toe boards here, but Rip Van Winkle is going to put him back to sleep as Rip Van Winkle, perfectly timed ride here at a beautiful run at 9.78 to 1 for YSM. Shout out to Peeb over Gerizino and oh boy, Unamuno.
Unamuno.
you know, if I just
break it down that easily during the race, but actually wouldn't that be that big of a deal? But what
Dude,
I'm trying
how about that? Literally
Yeah.
me fading Rip Van Winkle only for him to win. It's like a new, I think I read somewhere on Twitter today that it was like that we're in retrograde in some way. That's how it feels with YSM. I remember back in the day, like I don't know, 2 seasons ago, I kept being like, well, P would never expect his horses to win. I think I saw him in Discord today being like, somebody needs to fucking stop us. You know what I mean? Like somebody needs to stop. That's where he's at now. You need to stop us now. And that's just, it's like, and it kind of rings true. And we're gonna have to see in this next field how it looks. But YSM on a tear, man. I feel like like the last 3 Kentucky Derbies, we've seen them at least take home one of the, if not podium on 1 or 2 of these races. Taking this purse, stealing this purse, pulling it back into the YSM coffers, swimming in the Derby like Scrooge McDuck. So let's see. Let's look at this next field. Let's see if there's some YSM entries. By the way, there were 5 YSM entries in that last race. How about that?
I see 1 Native Euphoria. 2, 3 Thug Empire. Uh-oh.
Stranger in the Alps is competing in this one. That's a scary horse. That's a scary horse.
Oh
We
yeah,
just saw
that is the
horse compete in
favorite.
the Harbor Classic and get second.
Oh yeah.
We saw that
Stranger in
compete
the
in the
Alps,
Harbor
man.
Classic and get second. Man, Stranger in the Alps is a really, really, really good horse. Absolutely terrifying horse. Second in the Harbor Classic, 19th out of 20th in the 3rd time championship. Hollywood Rolo has been applying this horse, not necessarily in exactly the boxes that you'd expect, just taking this horse, throwing it in. I imagine in the 3rd time championship, it was off preference in what, 2 dimensions? This is a firm horse, yes. So it's off preference in 1 dimension for this race. What horses are on preference? And by the way, just yesterday we watched an off preference horse. You're by the way, I can't see you in your box, Mo. You still making your way up to the
Making my way up.
track?
Yep. Sorry, there's a little bit of room here between the studio and the box.
Yeah.
But
You have to dap up Bill Clinton on the way up, I imagine, right? And Hill Dog.
yeah, I actually had a message from Bill for you. It said, "Keep up the great work, Bill. Love to see you."
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, see you later at the see you later at the masquerade, my friend.
That's right.
Yes. So Stranger in the Alps, anyway, really powerful horse. You see that off preference element to this horse? Well, we just watched an off preference horse that was a super competitor absolutely destroy the Artemis Cup resoundingly, GVG's horse, just the other night. And now it's time to see if Stranger in the Alps can do it. Now that's the odds on favorite. Did any of these other horses get some action? It looks like the 13 got action. Dragon Spell, who we also watched race recently, and then Thug Empire. Thug Empire, the 19. That's got to be a work of YSM craftsmanship, I would imagine. Now it's another horse that's off preference. Really strong average fleet, strong max fleet, impressive record, just like a lot of the horses in this race. Impressive record, well over 20. This horse actually, Thug Empire has a 65% win rate at 10 furlongs, which is just nuts. That's just absolutely nuts. It does have a loss to Stranger in the Alps not that long ago, although no, that was at 10. 10 left dirt fast. This race broke soft though, so they're going to be running in places that they haven't run against each other yet. But those horses are 2 horses to watch. The 19 and the 1. You could have gotten a way better deal on the 19 if you were making picks. By the way, Thug Empire came in at 12-1 versus 6-1. So double, basically double your Derby, double the value for a horse that could contend with it. Now I could see why you'd choose. Actually, I would imagine that you would choose Stranger in the Alps based on the odds, but Thug Empire actually has I feel like has an even more extensive record in some ways. So I don't know. The double the odds seems a little bit crazy to me. Also, money on Discharge the 20. What do you think about that horse, Mo?
I mean, again,
Tombstone.
whether if I'm at a
Wyatt
poker
Earp
table,
Fire.
if I'm on the track, I'm not fading Mike Sowers. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
It's an S. Thug Empire, also an S. Also an S. Actually, not that many S pluses in this race. It's kind of amazing. Look at that. 2 S pluses. I just noticed that. One of them is Stranger in the Alps, and that might be endearing this horse a little bit to people. You see that lighter shade of purple, and you just can't help it. You got to throw a little bit of Derby on it, right? Is that how that works?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it.
Okay. How about Lussy Elvis? That seems like basically a combination between Pocono and Elvis horses there. What does that mean? Lussy in the Sky, the Dam, and Elvis coming together to create Lussy Elvis, the two. Definitely a sleeper record. Put it that way. Put it nicely. Not a bad record on the soft, but I don't know. I don't necessarily see it. Even though the name is such a moonshot. You know, it's such a that name is like scary to me. How about the 6? Look at the 6. Psionic Storm out of Sam Bree Stables. This would be a newcomer. This would be a new winner to the virtual Kentucky Derby. Sam Bree Stables looking to take this the most prestigious, arguably. Not necessarily most, just has like a little edge in prestige. All right. I don't know how exactly to navigate that in terms of sentiment. However, personally, there's a little bit of extra prestige to me. To the virtual Kentucky Derby, Sam Bree Stables looking to take it. Psionic Storm, look at that record, man. 90% on the podium at this distance. That's crazy. That's scary.
Very nice. And it rolled soft too, so I mean...
Rolled soft on preference.
Yeah, I mean, that very well could put horses maybe like Discharge, in a good mix over maybe even someone like Doug Empire. Well, I guess on the odds. In the odds department, Discharge is 8.8 to 1. Doug Empire is 12 to 1, so...
I think 8 to 1's pretty justified. Look at the average fleet on this horse too. If I don't see Psionic Storm in the top 3, I'm gonna be probably a little bit surprised. I'm gonna be a little bit surprised. What about Discharge? Did we look at Discharge? Of course we did. That's the Tombstone horse, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Tombstone horse. Discharge has a really, really crazy record. The last horse I want to touch on is Dragon Spell out of Balthazar Ranch. That's the 13. Also got a little bit of love. We have about less than a minute left until we jump into the race. I'm going to say the race. Dragon Spell, low press, and still wins over Discharge. I think that this horse, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this horse has some fearsome stats under the hood, allowing it to make up for this disparity in its preferences. It really has, nice performances, wins on big horses, including Stranger in the Alps, including Discharge recently. Maybe this horse is coming into its own, and we're gonna have to find out. 20 seconds left until race time. I'm excited, man. What's gonna happen? We're gonna get the YSM repeat. We're gonna get a newcomer up there. Who's gonna take it, man? A lot of big names in this race. A lot of big names. People that have established legacy players in this race, looking to take it all home, looking to potentially turn their name red, paint the roses red.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Heading on down to the track. Last race of the night. Thank you all for tuning in. Very with this one. Good luck on your picks. And horses are in the gate. Let's race. Virtual Kentucky Derby.
All right, race fans. 20 horses, one dream. Virtual Kentucky Derby Championship. And they're off and running here. Race for the Roses is Native Bahamian. Quickly out of the gate, Doug Empire along in second. Before the Rose moves along in third in front of Dak Prescott on the outside. Back to the inside of Lussy Elvis. Down at the rail with Dragon Spell on the outside. Now cruising along here at 12 to 1 as this field is tight. Up front, past the clubhouse and to the wire first time. Opening quarter and 24 and change as Native Bahamian. Easy stroll in the park here out in the rain over Doug Empire in the early stages. Doug Empire joined by the pack of Dragon Spell, headline there before the Rose and Bacula. And like we do here in the Derby, we go back to Native Euphoria, rolling our way back. It's Psionic Storm trying to make a move as Dak Prescott goes the wrong way here. Back in the 15, that Sequential starts to advance along with Lemonade Fritz. And then it's going to be Joplin Rivers also there as well. Now starts to advance from the extreme back. And dead last right now, chasing butterflies, is Marino. But all the way back to the front, as we try to call them all here in the big one, is Native Bahamian, now joined by Dragon Spell. Up top as Dragon Spell takes over the lead, down past the back stretch. Headline also there. Dragonspell not going to get an easy job here today, as Dragonspell has a slew of challengers, and Dragonspell is going the wrong direction. Back, but back to the front. It's all Headline. Headline here at 19-1, trying to bring the pig poles home, as Headline has a 4-length lead, but don't look now, because Native Bahamian has something to say about it. Native Bahamian shakes them up as they head for home. Joplin Rivers also there, now splitting them down the center of the track, gaining stride for stride over Headline. Headline is done. Now it's Joplin Rivers, Native Bahamian, as Joplin Rivers now is off yonder. One final surge on a comeback from Native Bahamian, but Joplin Rivers is going to do it out here, and can't have Rivers without rain, and doing it out in the slot, it's going to be Joplin Rivers here at 26-1 for Yellowstone Racing over Native Bahamian and Doug Empire. Ooh-wee!
Can we do a little bit of math here, Mo? Can we do a little bit of math? What is YSM second, third, and fourth? What does that equal? I'm doing math.
I failed calculus.
That is, they got the equivalent with their 3 horses to first place. So YSM, in a way, by winning the next 3 spots in the race, actually managed to take home a proportionate amount to Joplin Rivers out of Yellowstone Racing. Again, do not fade. Yellowstone Racing, the 11, took it home 26-1. That is a little bit disgusting, my friend. 26-1, off preference horse. Why was this horse slept on? This horse wins, and I'm kind of like, now I'm like, oh, well, actually, this horse looks pretty good. Hindsight's 2020. I get that.
I remember Major Rivers,
don't judge
though.
Me.
I remember Major Rivers being a big factor back in the day, but
this horse just had, on paper, this horse had all the stats that it took, all the stats to at least be competitive, all the stats to put it into a position where on race day, on big under the lights, massive prestige race day, where it's balls to the wall, Joplin Rivers shows up. Yellowstone taking home multiple purses, multiple of these giant purses tonight. Really good day for the stable. But of course, again, YSM not far behind, if behind at all, in terms of earnings today. Really impressive across the board. Congratulations to Yellowstone, though. Congratulations to everybody that made it in the money. Congratulations to everybody that was killing the picks. It looks like Hugh in chat has been smashing picks, so congratulations to you. Hope you take
golf
that derby
clap.
and do something lovely with it. Golf clap, yes, golf clap.
I don't get to do those too often.
Yes, golf clap. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody that made Derby today, and congratulations just for tuning in. Participation trophies for all around. Okay. Virtual Kentucky Derby season 18 now concluded. We have one more event tomorrow, which is the Rising Stars. I hope that you can tune in. It's the last Rising Stars maybe ever, because next season we have something very special for juveniles. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out in Discord. We have announcements for that. It's a very exciting, basically, first 3 to 4 years for almost every horse in the game at this point, or at least especially if they're good. So yeah, let's wrap it up, Mo. Thanks for calling all the races. Thanks for putting it on. Thanks for hosting. Excellent time today. It was a wonderful little Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Well, I like to run my mouth a lot about how good I am at things, and I figure if I can produce it and call the races at the same time, why not just co-host it, on the fly with you, a little impromptu. Again, shout out to Boss Man. He'll be back next season. But yeah, thanks again for Fib for joining me. Thank you for chat for tuning in. Guys, make sure you guys are following the Twitter for PFL. Join the Discord. Stay up to date. Get all the information. This game ain't going anywhere except up. I mean, I'm still having the time of my life, and I'm even racing these big races, and I still wake up every day, and I can't wait to watch my little green horses run according to Fib. But again, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
See ya.